Keller dropped a new director's take, and he teased and shared some info on what is coming later this year, including some 6v6 stuff. Let's have a look. This is going to be a short video, because a lot of the content in this week's director's take ties in very closely to a video I made last Wednesday on the challenge that Team 4 is facing when it comes to trust and reputation and how they basically cannot please all of us. Go have a look at the video on my channel if you want to know more. And also confirmed in his director's take what I said in that video, and it is that they're listening to our feedback and that they will respond and adjust when needed. He also used that whole thing about the best out of 7 for Stadium as an example on how they made that change with the best of intentions, but that they quickly noticed that this did not sit well with the community for some very valid reasons. So they ended up flipping things back, which they don't always do. He also added that they learned a lot from that specific mistake and the one with the mirrored drafts. If you remember that was also in Stadium. And that is that they can take some big swings, but they need to let these changes cook a little longer before rolling them out to the general audience. Now, I agree with that statement, but to a certain extent. See, I don't mind that some of these big swings are misses, and that they have to revert those in a matter of days and weeks, as long as they actually revert them. Because this community's reaction to these changes can be very surprising at times. Sometimes we react way better on some of the changes they roll out than they actually or I actually expected. Well, yeah, other times it will just completely bomb. But that is part of the exploration that we and Team 4 together are doing to try and make this game better. And I think the best out of 7, best out of 5 thing is an example of one of those explorations. I personally was not convinced when they announced the change, and it turns out I was right with my assumption, but I've been wrong so many times, or we've been wrong so many times. There are so many examples of changes they did that we end up enjoying a lot, while when they were just announcing that feature, they got attacked relentlessly. They got personal at times. Those were dark days. But yeah, then there are cases like the mirror draft in Stadium. Sorry, that decision was so hard against the core principles of Overwatch that even my cat knew that it was not going to go down well. She's a top 500 Brigitte player. Her username is, "Where's my food, you tall piece of shit?" It's kind of a miracle that she hasn't got banned yet. Anyways, Aaron was also nice enough to share some of the content that we can expect in the mid-season update, which is dropping next Tuesday, which he also confirmed. He started out the blog with some of the stuff we already knew, like the Junkrat Mythic skin, the narrative viewer that I forgot to mention in my video last week. Shame on me. And a first look at Lupa, the new hero that is coming in Season 20. Very exciting stuff. But it turns out we're also getting a first balancing patch specifically for 6v6. See, 6v6 has a consistent play rate of about 20%, and it needed some love urgently. That is some of the feedback they got. So that's what they're doing. And then later in Season 20, they're going to be adding a new feature for the top level players that they kind of figured out together with those top level players, where I'm not included. I'm in no way top 500. Top 1,000, top 100,000, whatever. But I'm happy for those players. And they're also going to be adding a new stadium map, which is going to be set at a brand new location where they haven't done a map yet, but that should look very familiar and is kind of tied in to some of the lore they dropped recently. What could that be? Mars? A crashed null sector ship? I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments or come tell me during my streams over on twitch.tv/Deemzies. See you there. For now, however, that was it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It always helps me out. I also want to thank my patrons and YouTube members. You too can become a member over on patreon.com/theomnicpost and right here on YouTube to unlock exclusive rewards. If you have a few minutes left, maybe check out one of my other videos. But above all, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Bye bye.